Hi again, everyone, and happy game day. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Be sure to join the 39,000 plus that have subscribed by hitting that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications. That way, you can get all of our videos, all of our post-game reaction to today's game, from Joe Burrow to Zach Taylor to Jamar Chase to, well, whoever shines brightest today at Paycor Stadium. And yes, we will be there recording this right before heading down to the stadium. And look, this is such a huge, huge game. And I know there was a bunch of urgency going into last week's game in Arizona. The Bengals get it done. This game is just as important. Getting to 3-3 is critical for this team if they're going to make the run that a lot of people, including myself, expected them to make this season. Expectations were sky high coming into the year. And because of Joe Burrow's calf, because of some adversity, I would say, facing this team, they didn't get off to the start they wanted. And after they beat the Rams, I think going into that Tennessee game, it was, man, if you could just beat Tennessee, you get to 2-2 and you feel really good about yourselves. Well, that didn't happen. And Burrow surprised a lot of people last week with how he moved in the pocket and how he played against the Cardinals. You need that exact same type of performance from a physical standpoint today. We know Joe Burrow mentally is going to be there. You just hope that that calf can continue to hold up. He's looked really good in practice this week. And so that's a huge, huge thing that we'll be watching today. I mean, obviously, weather could be a bit of a factor. It's going to be in the mid 50s, and, maybe it's a little wet. We'll see. But overall, this game is huge for this Bengals team as they try to dig themselves out of a hole. If you get to 3-3 going into the bye, it just feels like, okay, after 6 games, you're even and you can really make this push. You give Burrow a couple more weeks to heal. You give everybody a couple of more weeks, 2 weeks with the bye until your next game to take a breath, reset, recharge, and get ready, because this is when the Bengals usually hit their stride and have hit their stride. They've had really good runs in the second half of each of the past 2 seasons. Obviously, we know what they've done in the postseason, but I just mean at the end of the regular season, that's when they usually put things together. They've been really good coming off of the bye as well. And so they need to continue that. But first, you want to go into the bye strong. And by doing that, you would get a win today and feel good about it. So to me, the biggest key, and I did keys to victory, but the biggest thing on my mind is Burrow, making sure that he can duplicate what he did last week. And it was wild to me. Like today, I think back rather Wednesday, when Zach Taylor's talking, he talked to the media for 16 minutes. And then I asked the first Joe Burrow health question, and that was the only one he answered. After weeks of talking about it, I think everybody has a little Joe Burrow calf fatigue, from Burrow to Zach Taylor to me, everybody. And so can they turn that and continue to turn the page, or will this continue to be a topic? We'll find out today. I think how he performs today is going to lead us in one way or the other. And we'll obviously hear from him after the game. But if Joe Burrow is the Joe Burrow that we expect him to be, I like the Bengals in this game. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, because Geno Smith and those weapons, they're just waiting to get going in the passing game. It hasn't been great so far numbers-wise for Seattle from a passing game standpoint, especially the downfield explosive plays. And that's what you think of when you think of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And so we'll see today if that can happen. The other thing, I am curious about Jamar Chase versus Witherspoon, the rookie, because DK Metcalf, whether he wanted to or not, and I think he knew what he was saying, that's why he had a smirk on his face, him saying, I think that Spoon's going to get the best of Jamar. He went out of his way to do that. He did not have to say that. And that is bulletin board material. Now, does it matter? I don't think it really matters. All right. We've covered here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and I've covered, and you've paid attention, if you're a Bengals fan, the past couple of years, to Bengals Chiefs. There's a lot of trash talk. There's a lot of trash talk going into those games. And then when the game starts, yeah, there's urgency because they're big games, but I don't think the trash talk really matters, but it does surround the game. And I think that surrounded was a storyline this week, but can Witherspoon stick Jamar Chase? Will Tariq Woolen be able to guard Jamar Chase. I think Woolen, a lot of people look at Woolen as one of these top cornerbacks. I actually think he's pretty beatable. We'll see, but I think he's beatable. And I certainly think that anytime you're going up against Jamar Chase, that's a really stacked deck against any cornerback. And so, especially if you're one-on-one, I would expect the Seahawks to float coverage and certainly cloud to Jamar's side, regardless of who else is out there, whether we see T. Higgins on a snap counter, whether it's Trenton Irwin, whether it's Tyler Boyd. I think that's part of it. And so to me, this could be a Tyler Boyd game where Boyd wasn't super involved last week, but over the middle, you have a guy in Witherspoon, you have another guy in Woolen, you trust those guys. All right, fine. Well, then the Bengals have a third option in Tyler Boyd. The other part of this that I'm looking for, whether it's Irv Smith Jr., obviously Joe Mixon can make an impact and has played well so far, but you need someone else besides Jamar Chase to make a big play downfield. And I talked about that in my keys to victory. So we'll see if that happens today at Paycor Stadium. We will have you covered after the game. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and make sure you check out all of our videos this week, from T. Higgins to Jamar Chase, one-on-one with Jordan Battle, who I think is going to play more today than he has in past games. We have a ton for you. DJ Turner as well, who obviously is going to be leaned on and relied upon in a big spot here today. Until then, postgame, win, lose, draw, we have you covered. If you're looking for more on the Bengals, check out allbengals.com. For Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien. We will talk to you after the game right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.